All right, listen. I think there's a way to fill your clinic with new patients that 99% of clinic owners are honestly overlooking. It's not more local marketing events or putting up a table at a CrossFit gym. In fact, it has nothing to do with local marketing. The way to get more new patients in your clinic that most clinic owners are overlooking is through website traffic, and specifically working on their SEO, or what we call search engine optimization. Really, what search engine optimization is, if you don't know what I am talking about, is if somebody types in for physical therapist near me, is your website showing up on page one or ideally position one when that search is actually happening? And the closer you are to position one and the more domain authority that your website has, means that's how good your SEO is, to put it in super layman's terms. So again, what this really means is somebody searching for physical therapist near me, your website should show up. And then ideally, right, what's happening is people will go to your website because if they're looking for a physical therapist near me and you show up on page one and you say best physical therapist in Boston, they're going to click on that link. And then ideally, your website makes it really easy for them to take the next step, to fill out a form, or break a discovery call, and then they become a new patient. And in that world, right, that seems super easy, and you should be generating tons of new people every single month from that specific funnel right there. But here is the problem. Most clinic owners think that they don't get website traffic, so it's not worth working on SEO. And to be totally honest with you, it's probably true. I audit so many clinics' websites every single week, and most clinics are getting less than a couple hundred organic website visits a month. So if that's happening, that's probably going to lead you to think that getting people online or people just organically finding you through Google isn't a route that actually works. And the only way to get more new patients in the door is through word of mouth or local marketing or workshops or things along those lines. And again, it makes you think that your website just doesn't convert. And you just accept the fact that you have to be doing all these local marketing events to actually get new patients in the door. But I'm here to tell you, and what I'm going to talk about in today's podcast is it is worth working on SEO. It is worth investing in SEO. It is worth investing in website traffic. And again, thinking that the only way to get patients in the door for a cash clinic is through word of mouth or local marketing. I'm here to tell you that is not the way to look at it. And what I want to do is I want to tell you a little bit of story today. So sit back, relax. I'm going to tell you a story here. A few weeks back, I basically had this exact conversation with a clinic owner. I take probably 6 to 8 demo calls every single week with clinic owners to help them get more new patients in the door. If you ever want to book one of those calls, you want to meet with myself or a member of our team, go to thepatchsystem.com, click that big book a demo call button in the top right corner, and we can do all of this with you as well. But anyways, I was on that demo call and basically went something like this of we would rely on local marketing. We don't really think it's worth putting any effort into SEO because we've never got anybody in the 5, 10 years we've been open. We've never really had anybody come in and say, oh, I just randomly found you on Google. There's also like tons of competition online and blah, 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 blah. All of those like standard excuses that are out there. And I think unfortunately, this is the normal mindset for most clinic owners. And luckily, what I get to do on these demo calls, it's one, I understand that this is the mindset. And we're also really lucky at Patch where we invest in a tool that's called SEMrush. They have a free version of it, which I think as clinic owners you can be using. But we use like the souped up couple $1,000 a month one where we can get some like really good and accurate website data. And what my goal is to change clinic owners' minds of like, hey, you should be focusing on this because even though you're only getting a couple hundred website visits a month, there's a potential out there to get thousands of website visits and get 20 or 30 more new patients in the door. And what this tool does is it allows for me to really like visually demonstrate how that actually happens. And honestly, that's exactly what I did on this call. I heard him out. Listen, I totally understand what you're saying. I totally get it. I was in your shoes at one point too, because honestly, I was. But then I was able to pull up the data. And on the first parts, they were totally right. They weren't getting any organic traffic. they were getting less than 150 website visits a month. So, in putting myself in this clinic owner's shoes, totally understandable that they thought it wasn't worth it because up until this point, for 150 website visits a month, that's organically happening. A lot of those website visits are coming from people just searching for directly like your clinic name. You're probably not getting any more than, so let's call it two inquiries organically via Google. So if that's happening. You're probably like, why the hell would I invest any money into this? It doesn't really seem to work. What I ended up doing is this clinic owner was in a city. Let's call it Raleigh, North Carolina. It was a similar size. It wasn't Raleigh, but similar size to that. And using our tool SEMrush, I was able to show him how much searching was actually going on in his local area. Again, I was able to pull up what we can do is we can see, okay, in your local area, what are people typing into Google and how many times is that happening per month? So one of them was we looked at their city physical therapist. So again, we'll use Raleigh as the example. So Raleigh physical therapist, that was happening 950 searches a month. Raleigh PT near me, 700 searches per month. Best PT near me, 800 searches per month. Raleigh PT clinic, 450 searches a month. Raleigh NC PT, 450 searches a month. And this went on and on. There was loads of actual searches happening that were relevant for their physical therapy clinic. And overall, it was close to 5,000 searches for physical therapy that were actually happening per month. And again, we were just looking at physical therapy. They were a running specific clinic. And what we've since figured out was like there was another 350 searches happening for running gait analysis, physical therapy near me, video gait analysis, running physical therapist. There was another 500 to 1,000 searches happening that were running specific. We were also able to figure out dry needling was one of the big ones. Another 1,000 searches for dry needling related. So there's just loads of opportunity there to capture searches that were happening locally in his area that they weren't showing up for at all. And I think obviously this should be a pretty big eye opener, even if you're in a smaller city, especially if you're in a big city. Like when we were in Boston, man, we really went after obviously Boston physical therapy, Boston dry needling. We probably got a dozen leads every single month just organically from people finding us because we spent the better part of 3 years really focusing on our SEO. So for this clinic owner, when I was going over it with them, we were able to, and the thought process here was if we could take your website traffic and 10x that website traffic from 100 searches a month to 1,000, that's a huge change. And that honestly, that still leaves 4,000 excess searches out there that they're not collecting for. So this is a pretty conservative number. So if we can 10x their website traffic, obviously that's huge. We're going after search terms that are relevant for this clinic as well, because it's, again, insert city physical therapist near me. Tons of those searches actually happening. And again, the way that we look at this in terms of ROI is say you're getting this, now you're getting 1,000 website visitors per month and you convert on, call it even 2% of that traffic, which again is super conservative. That is 20 new patients a month that you are getting in your clinic. What other route of marketing can get you 20 new patients every single month? It's certainly not local workshops these days. That is just not happening anymore. And again, this is just super, super predictable too. Of if you can be running ads and you're getting a handful of patients there, you obviously have to still continue to do the local marketing, but maybe that's going to get you 3 to 5 people every single month. And then again, your website traffic is bringing in another source here. This is the name of the game if you want to scale your clinic. And I think that capturing website traffic organically, and obviously you can do this on the paid ad side of things. My strategy with this and what we tell most people inside of Patches, you should be running ads and you should be working on your SEO. Because the thing about SEO is that you can't just snap your fingers and now all of a sudden get 1,000 website visits. This stuff takes 6, 12, 18 months to actually start seeing some results from it. So if you're interested in SEO, then you need to understand that this is an investment and this is something that takes time. Whereas paid ads, you can just start setting up ads and you can start capturing that traffic tomorrow if you really want to. But again, if we're converting 2% of that eventual 1,000 website visits that are happening, that is 20 new patients every single month. And that can change your clinic. There's just no better marketing out there than that. So, again, I think I'm super lucky to do these SEO audits on a weekly basis, multiple times per week. And there's three things that I normally see. And I think if you're listening to this, you are probably a clinic owner and you'll probably resonate with one, if not multiple of these things that I'm normally seeing in these SEO audits. So the first thing, and this is the most common thing that I see probably, let's call it 70 to 80% of the clinics that we do SEO audits for, they've done nothing for SEO. It's like a field of dreams thing where it's like, hey, listen, I built this website. People should come. People should find me. And if I build it, they will come. And unfortunately, Google does not work like that. And just because you've built a website, aren't necessarily just going to show up and find you. What you need to do is you need to work on technical SEO, is what it's called. And this is all of the, again, to put it in super layman terms, is all the back end coding that Google reads. So when Google is crawling your website, when they're searching your website, seeing, how they want to rank it, they're not looking at the pretty pictures that you have on the front facing and the colors and the font styles and all of those things. What Google is actually doing is it's reading the back end coding and data that they have there. So if you want your website and what you need to do for your website to improve your SEOs, you need to optimize, you need to update your title tags and your meta descriptions and your schema markups and your site mapping. And there's loads of other things that, unless you're interested in SEO, it's probably going to go way over your head and you're probably going to tune me out. Again, these are the things that you need to be doing. And what I see most of the time is that clinics have just never done this before. Maybe they've outsourced and paid somebody to build their website for them. Maybe they built it on their own. But more often than not, clinics just have done nothing on the SEO end. The second thing that I usually see is there's savvy clinic owners out there that are like, I know SEO is something that I need to be working on. Maybe they've had a SEO company cold email them and say that they can provide all of these results and they end up working with them. Maybe there's a local company out there. There are loads of different ways that, you can fall into hiring an SEO company. And usually what I tell clinics is that unless this SEO company understands local service businesses, what they usually try to do is they try to get you as much website traffic as possible and not really try to get as much local website traffic as possible. And those are two really big differences where traditional SEO, again, is just to improve the website traffic that you're getting, whereas local SEO is to improve the number of website visits you're getting by making sure that there's a local aspect to it as well. So this is a really relevant story here. Again, I was doing one of these demo calls working with a clinic and they're a pelvic health clinic. Let's say they were in Boston just for easy sake. And we went through their SEO audit for them. When I originally pulled it up, I was like, man, they're doing something right because they were getting like 8 to 10,000 website visits a month or something crazy like that, which I was like, this is great. This is awesome. You've got decent domain authority. You've got a ton of backlinks happening. This all looks really good. But then when I go and I went to see what were the search terms, so what were people typing into Google and then clicking on their website the most, what it was is just a bunch of random keywords that were related to pelvic health physical therapy for sure, but not high intent keywords. And what I mean by that is like their number one keyword that they were showing up for, they were getting like 3 or 4,000 website visits a month was for the keyword rib flare. So somebody typing in rib flare into Google, one of their rib flare blogs showed up. And again, that's awesome. They're getting a ton of website traffic from that. But unless they have a course on how to fix your rib flare, then it's not doing anything to actually improve their business. Number of website visits can just be a vanity metric. And unless that you are selling something virtually online, what most SEO companies will do if you hire them is they'll just try to find keywords that have super low difficulty of showing up on page one, rib flare, and it's getting a lot of website traffic. Again, a lot of people are searching for why do I have rib flare? What is rib flare, et cetera, et cetera. And again, that's just not going to help your clinic at all. What they should be going after instead, and this is how we do things at Patch, is we do local SEO, is that we would go after, for this clinic, say, we would be going after pelvic health physical therapy, Boston, MA. And those would be the keywords. Sure, like it's going to be a lot harder to start ranking for those. The keyword difficulty is going to be a lot higher. But what that's going to do is if we show up on page one for people searching for pelvic health PT Boston, and then they click on our website, we know that they're looking for pelvic health physical therapy in Boston. Those are the people that we want going to our website. I don't care about people looking for how to solve my rib flare to go to the website. It just doesn't make any sense there. And I think that most SEO companies will focus on things like that, where the number of website visits, again, can be a vanity metric. And you really need to be looking at how many people locally are coming to your website. So that's number two. Number three, and this is becoming more and more common, is where clinics are trying to do SEO on their own because of AI. And AI is a great tool. Don't get me wrong. I use it every single day. But what's ended up happening on the SEO front, I think most clinic owners, the understanding and knowledge of SEO is just write blogs and put blogs up, and that's going to improve your SEO. There's a small percentage of that is true, certainly. Blogs are a part of our SEO strategy. We write blogs for clinics every single month, but you need to be doing the technical SEO side of things as well to complement your blog writing. But again, what I'm seeing most clinics do is they're using AI to just churn out blogs. Because again, you can go to ChatGPT and you can just say, write me a SEO optimized blog for physical therapy, and it'll spit something out for you, which is great for sure. But what you need to understand on the SEO side of things is much like Instagram's algorithm, Google's SEO algorithm changes usually quarterly, sometimes biannually. Every so often, they'll roll out a white paper on what are the new metrics to showing up on page one and improving your SEO. And one of the big ones that really changed everything for a lot of clinics recently was that the content on your website needs to be unique, it needs to be valuable, and it needs to be human made, quote unquote. And really, the biggest thing is that it needs to be like unique and valuable. What most AI content, what Google's doing is most of the AI content that's put on people's websites isn't super valuable and doesn't really, and it's not super unique either. And so if you have a ton of AI blogs on your website and there's nothing really, again, valuable about them, they don't feel super unique or tailored to your clinic, Google's going to read those, they're going to crawl them, and they're going to downrank you. And the blogs that you're posting where you think that they're going to improve your SEO is actually going to send you backwards. So I think if you want to use AI, that's great, but there needs to be a human element to it as well. You need to be doing a bit of human editing to those and making sure that when Google scans it, it's not just an AI blog and they know that. Because you can look at AI blogs and be like, oh yeah, that was written by AI. So there are certain things that you need to do there. And then the other side of this, and this is going off on a tangent, this could be a whole other podcast, but blogs need to, there's a checklist of making sure you're SEO optimizing blogs. So you can't just write them, post them, and think that it's doing things for your website. You need to make sure the title tag, the meta description, again, the markups in the back end are all correct. We use what's called the pillar and cluster blog strategy. So each blog has to internally link to pages and pillar blogs on your website. So there's a lot of things that go into it to make those blogs actually have a bit of domain authority. And again, most clinics that I see that are trying to write blogs, which I think is great, they're just not doing it correctly. And at the end of the day, it could affect the way that you're actually showing up online. So those three things that I normally see is, again, clinics are either just not doing anything, they're getting no organic traffic. Their second thing would be they're hiring an SEO company that's getting them tons of website traffic, but they're just not showing up for keywords that you should be showing up for. And then the third thing is they try to do an SEO on their own. They're trying to leverage AI and they really don't know what they're doing. So I'm sure if you're listening to this, you're going to resonate with one of those three things. What I want to do is leave you with this. If you need more new patients and you're not focusing on SEO, then I truly think that you are missing the mark on how to grow your clinic. At the end of the day, it is 2025. People are buying online. People are not, the days of just meeting somebody in person and then coming in and purchasing from there. It's just not happening anymore. People are, even if they do meet you in person, they're probably not moving forward right off the bat. I think that's what a lot of what we're seeing with the local workshops right now. And they're going to, if they type in that maybe they're not going to remember your clinic name exactly. And maybe they're going to type in like best physical therapist Boston. And if you're not showing up there on the map or on page 1 or 2, then they're going to forget who you are. And chances are they're not going to move forward. So focusing on website traffic, making sure you're getting website traffic, making sure you're converting website traffic and understanding, hey, if we're getting anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000 relevant website searches every single month in our local area, we need to be capturing the lion's share of those searches. So I think you can do one of two things. The first thing, you can be like me and you can educate yourself. It took me the better part of 3 years to learn SEO, understand what it is, go through the trials and tribulations of it, get us to actually rank on page one for Ripple. And like SEO isn't a set and forget thing. Just like check the box and say, all right, done. Now we're going to be on page one forever. This is some stuff that you have to be doing on a monthly basis. So you can go out there, you can educate yourself if you like the marketing side of things, if you like the tech side of things, and you think this is worth your time, you can definitely do it. There's loads of trainings out there. Or the second thing you can do is you can just hire out and you can find somebody, hopefully not one of those SEO companies that's just going to try to get you as much vanity website traffic as possible. A company that focuses on physical therapy or clinics and local service businesses. And you can hire out and you can save yourself a ton of time, energy, and actually make these things work. And if you're looking for that second one, and you do want to know a little bit more about SEO, again, go to our website, thepatchsystem.com, grab a demo call with us. We can take you through our SEO audit process. We can walk you through how we're capturing more online traffic for clinics, generating more new evaluations, more new patients, how SEO kind of fits into a full marketing plan. I highly encourage you to book one of those calls. I think they're super valuable for clinic owners. And if you're looking to improve your SEO, I'm biased, obviously, but I think we're the best place to do it. So definitely take a look there. And I will talk to you guys next week.